The systemic toxicity in Aiden's body had surpassed 87%. A synthesized voice in his mind informed him of this, adding that his estimated survival time was 7 days. He managed a faint, ragged smile. There was no need to wait that long. He was ready now. The abyss before him wasn't so much a cliff as a giant fissure splitting the earth, a wound exhaling a constant, foul-smelling mist and the chilling cries of things unknown. He no longer cared. Freedom was just one step away. As he lifted a foot to take that final step, a voice cut through the wind. Caleb crashed through the undergrowth, his face a mask of irritation as he demanded to know how long they'd been searching. He berated Aiden for wandering off, reminding him of the rule to stay put when separated. His only use was as bait, Caleb complained, yet he was always causing them trouble. He stopped a few yards away, ordering Aiden to come back. An old instinct flared, the urge to offer a practiced, appeasing smile and explain that if he hadn't run, the creature would have torn him to shreds. But the impulse died. What was the point? For 2 years, he had tried to earn their favor, only to be told he was merely jealous of Leo, vying for attention. Every time danger struck, he was the one left behind. He was done. Aiden looked at Caleb, his expression uncharacteristically serene. He relayed the system's prognosis and announced his decision to quit the team and embrace his fate today. Caleb's expression flickered from anger to confusion, baffled by this sudden change in demeanor. The confusion quickly soured back into a sneer. He accused Aiden of putting on a show, questioning how Aiden could be near death from the toxic fog when everyone else was fine. He dismissed it as a new, pathetic ploy for attention, a tantrum over being accidentally left behind again. He asked how long Aiden intended to compete with Leo. When Aiden remained motionless at the edge, Caleb's face darkened. He strode forward, intent on dragging him back. Aiden took a single step backward, away from his touch. Caleb's expression grew uglier. He declared that if Aiden wanted to die, he could tell the team leader himself. If Damien approved his departure, he could die wherever he wanted for all they cared. He never finished the sentence. Aiden's body tilted backward into the void. The world rushed away in a blur of greens and grays. As the sensation of weightlessness took over, Caleb's frantic shout was the last thing he heard. A profound sense of relief washed over him. Aiden closed his eyes against the rushing wind, eagerly awaiting the darkness. He woke to the feeling of countless vines shifting beneath him, cool and smooth like serpents. They slithered up his legs, wrapping around his body with a gentle but firm pressure. Not far away, a massive, twisted ancient tree seemed to watch him, radiating an aura of such primal danger that his heart hammered against his ribs. A voice, raspy and young, echoed from the shadows like a whisper from the deep. It asked if he was the new bride sent from above. The realization dawned on him with a cold dread. He had fallen into a monster's lair. The creature found him beautiful. It liked him. The vine-like tendrils pulled him close, pressing him against the rough bark of the main trunk. The entity shivered with what seemed like excitement, whispering its delight. "Pretty wife," it murmured, "so lovely." It wanted to consume him. For the first time in a long time, Aiden's eyes filled with genuine tears. 2 years in this endless game, scorned and dismissed by his own team, and now, on the brink of death, the only being to show him any affection was a monster. His chest heaved with a great, shuddering sob. He turned his head away, ashamed of his own pathetic display, and told the creature that if it was going to eat him, to please be gentle. He was afraid of pain. The tree creature went still. In its raspy voice, it seemed almost panicked as it told him not to cry, promised not to eat him, A tendril tipped with a blooming purple flower delicately wiped the tears from his cheek. As his tears continued to fall, more green vines emerged, weaving a careful lattice beneath him, lifting him gently upward. It was sending him back. By the time he understood what was happening, he was on solid ground again. He scrambled to his feet, ignoring his tears, and peered down into the chasm. An energy lash suddenly snaked out from behind, wrapping around his waist and yanking him backward. Damien, the team leader, retracted the weapon. He glanced down at Aiden on the ground before turning to Caleb, his voice flat as he questioned Caleb's report of a suicide. Julian, leaning against a nearby tree, offered a theatrical smirk, commenting on their little porcelain doll trying to kill himself. Caleb, still breathing heavily, stared at Aiden with dawning fury. He accused Aiden of tricking him, of knowing the fall was safe and staging the whole event for sympathy. He grabbed Aiden by the neck, lifting him from the ground, his feet dangling uselessly. Aiden could only choke out a denial. Caleb's grip tightened as he sneered, telling him to stop pretending. Julian's smirk faded into a slight frown. He suggested they put him down and let Leo check on him so they wouldn't be accused of mistreating him. On cue, Leo bounced forward, his cherubic face beaming. He chirped that Aiden was perfectly fine. He had already used his diagnostic skill. Aiden's body was healthy, with no signs of poisoning. He advised Caleb not to be angry, suggesting that Aiden had only lied out of fear because they were all so focused on protecting Leo. Closing his eyes in a posture of prayer, a white halo of light glowed briefly above Leo's head. He blessed Aiden, asking for his lies to be forgiven. In the face of Leo's cloying purity, Caleb's rage seemed to dissipate. He let out a long, frustrated breath and dropped Aiden to the ground with disgust before stalking away. Aiden curled on the forest floor, a hand clutching his chest where the poison was already making his heart ache. A strange, bitter laugh escaped his lips. He looked up at Leo, his voice a low rasp. The one who should be begging for forgiveness wasn't him. It hadn't always been this way. When he first entered the game, his relationship with the team had been manageable. Then he awakened a unique skill, charm. It was a passive ability derived from his appearance that made him naturally appealing to all entities. But in Leo's telling, it became something sinister. On the day their former leader, Sean, died, Leo had tearfully claimed that Aiden's skill was a form of mind control. He'd insisted that Sean had died saving Aiden only because he had been bewitched. From that moment on, everyone looked at him differently. Whenever danger arose, he was shoved forward to use his skill to pacify the monsters, exhausting his mental energy while they waited to sweep in and claim the victory. Afterward, they would retreat from him as if he were contaminated. With Leo's constant lies and manipulations, he had been painted as a scheming, malicious person. No amount of effort or appeasement on his part could change their minds. He struggled to his feet, unsteady. He told them to believe what they wanted. He was leaving the team anyway. What happened to him next was none of their business. Leo's eyes widened with a look of feigned hurt, and he glanced toward Damien. Damien stepped forward, blocking Aiden's path. He asked what Aiden was so dissatisfied about. His gaze drifted dismissively to Aiden's hand clutching his chest, calling it a clumsy charade that only Caleb would fall for. He warned that if Aiden insisted on continuing this performance, it wouldn't be very convincing if he didn't actually die in the end. Aiden said nothing. He simply walked around the leader. Damien instinctively reached out, but then seemed to remember Aiden's unclean nature and stopped himself, using his whip to block him instead. He tossed an injector pen with an antidote at Aiden's feet. He said that whether Aiden was sick or not, he could stop now. He could leave the team after the instance was cleared, but until then, he was to do his duty. His voice was cold as ice as he warned Aiden that his patience was limited, and he should stop acting like a child. In the past, that cold look from Damien would have sent Aiden scrambling to please him. But now, staring at the injector on the ground, he felt nothing but a vast, desolate emptiness. According to the rules of the Gloomwood instance, once toxicity exceeded 60%, antidotes were nearly useless. He looked up, his expression as numb and indifferent as Damien's own. He told him to keep it. Damien froze, a flicker of something, surprise, perhaps even alarm, in his eyes. It was gone in an instant, replaced by his usual cold mask. He said it was for the best, since they didn't have enough resources to waste on useless members. He turned away and ordered the team to move out, telling Julian to keep an eye on Aiden. Julian responded with a sarcastic affirmative, scooping up the injector and tucking it into Leo's pocket. He remarked that it was better used on their precious healer. Leo glanced at Aiden with feigned hesitation, but Julian cut him off, stating that Leo was the only indispensable member of the team. He shoved Aiden forward, telling the little actor to get moving. Aiden stumbled, and behind him, Julian's lazy laughter followed. Another performance, he mocked. Numbly, Aiden followed the group. As he did, a single purple flower drifted down from the canopy, brushing his cheek like a gentle caress. He caught it, his gaze drawn back toward the chasm. In the mist, he could just make out a vast bloom of morning glory vines flowering all along the cliff's edge. The next few days were an eternity of agony. With Julian watching him constantly, every attempt to end his own life was thwarted. Julian would ask him with a smug smile if he had some kind of pathological need for attention. He didn't understand that the pain was simply too much to bear. By the third day, the toxicity level reached 93%. Aiden collapsed, gasping for breath. The others glanced back, then turned away without concern. Caleb complained about the thickening fog and asked Leo if he was tired. Leo whined that he was, and the team immediately decided to set up camp. Caleb tossed a single compressed energy bar in Aiden's direction before rejoining the others, where Leo was exclaiming with delight over beef jerky and candy. While the four of them enjoyed their meal, Aiden slipped away unnoticed. He found a pool deep in the forest, its water as black and still as polished obsidian. He waded in, the cold water seeping into his clothes. As he moved deeper, he heard the clear, bright laughter of a boy. The world shifted. The fog burned away, the water became crystal clear, and birds sang from the trees. A young boy stood at the water's edge, smiling gently at the fish swimming within. He seemed completely unaware of Aiden's presence. It was a phantom, a memory replaying itself. As Aiden tried to move closer, the scenery dissolved back into darkness and rot. The pool's surface churned, turning blood red as pale. Severed limbs drifted into view. Aiden fell back in terror. A whirlwind of dead leaves rose behind him, coalescing into a shadowy figure. The figure embraced him, and the raspy voice from the chasm whispered in his ear, telling him not to die in the cold water. It invited him to die in its burial ground instead. "My wife," it said. "Burial ground." The words triggered a memory of the lore they'd found. The original warden of this forest was a 16-year-old boy, known only as Silas. He was murdered by poachers, drowned in this very pool and dismembered. His upper body was buried beneath a great tree. Since then, the forest had been cursed. The villagers below began a ritual of human sacrifice, sending a young bride into the forest each year to appease the vengeful spirit, but the curse never lifted. Aiden asked, without turning, if it was the warden. The shadow considered for a moment, then confessed it had forgotten. It had been here too long, so very lonely, until he appeared. For the first time, it wanted something. The shadow nuzzled his neck, dropping dry leaves onto his shoulders, pleaded with him to die by its side. It promised to grow its vines over him. In the spring, it would bloom the most beautiful flowers around him. In summer, its leaves would shield him from the sun. In autumn, it would give him the sweetest fruit. In winter, it would hold him tight and they would watch the snow together. Listening to its whispers, Aiden felt a warmth he had never known. A faint smile touched his lips. Sounded nice. A monster, yes, but they were both lonely. To rest beneath a great, sheltering tree after death didn't seem so bad. He told it to take him now. But the entity, Silas, gave no reply. A gust of wind carried the distant sound of Caleb's shouting, and the shadow dissolved back into leaves and air. The team found him moments later. Caleb was furious, demanding to know why Aiden had to be so difficult, forcing them to interrupt their meal to search for him by this stinking pool. He mentioned that Leo had even saved him half of his jerky. Julian also looked weary, telling him to just behave. Aiden tried to stand, to use his last reserves of strength to walk away, but his body failed him. His vision went black and he collapsed. Unexpectedly, Damien was the first to reach him. He caught Aiden, his brow furrowed in a deep line as he finally seemed to realize something was truly wrong. He asked why Aiden's lips were so dark. Julian came closer to look, then chuckled, suggesting he'd been eating berries to make himself look sick. Damien rubbed a thumb over Aiden's lips. When no color came off, Julian's smile vanished. "His face is wrong," Damien said, and called for Leo. Leo stiffened before putting on his act, performing a cursory check on Aiden. He reassured them that Aiden was just exhausted and would be fine after some rest. Caleb let out a quiet sigh of relief. He muttered about how fragile Aiden was getting, tired after just a short walk. That night, Aiden lay feverish in a tent. Through a haze of delirium, he heard the others talking outside. One suggested giving him an antidote just in case. Another countered that Leo had said he was fine, and their own toxicity levels were only at 20%. The third voice pointed out that Leo, with his delicate constitution, needed a dose almost daily, so they should conserve the antidote for him. They decided that tomorrow, Leo would give Aiden his antitoxin mask to stop him from feeling neglected. The next day, Damien, Caleb, and Julian went to scout for the Heartwood Bud, the main quest item, leaving Aiden and Leo at the camp. Aiden drifted in and out of consciousness. The system's voice echoed in his head. Player toxicity has surpassed 95%. Warning: life signs critical. Sometime later, he was violently shaken awake. It was Julian, his face a thunderous mask. He demanded to know where Leo was. Aiden was too disoriented to answer. Julian's voice grew colder. He said he had found a button from Aiden's jacket near the place Leo disappeared, along with signs of a beast. He asked Aiden to explain why Leo was gone while he was lying there, safe and sound. It was the same old trick. Leo had used it countless times. He was tired of playing along. Aiden managed a weak, mocking smile. He confessed that he had set Leo up. He looked Julian in the eye and dared him to do it, to kill him. Julian's eyes went dark. He slowly raised his personal weapon, a set of razor-sharp discus blades. He taunted that Aiden shouldn't assume he wouldn't dare. Before anyone could react, Aiden lunged forward, straight into the path of the blade. A dull, Wet thud echoed as it sliced deep into his throat. Caleb's eyes widened in horror. He screamed Aiden's name and rushed forward to catch his falling body. Hot blood sprayed across Julian's face. He stood frozen, weapon in hand, as if his soul had fled his body. Only when Aiden hit the ground did he seem to snap out of it, dropping to his knees in a panic. Caleb shoved him away violently, screaming obscenities. Julian stammered that he didn't mean to, that he didn't know Aiden would run into it. He fumbled with his jacket, trying to staunch the bleeding. Damien pushed them both aside, his face grim. "Get back," he commanded. He pulled out a complex-looking device from his wrist and activated his skill. Rewind. Time lurched backward 1 minute. Everyone breathed a collective sigh of relief. Julian, trembling, threw his weapon aside, his face filled with shame and regret. He apologized for his impulsiveness. Aiden just looked at him and smiled, a trickle of black blood escaping the corner of his mouth. It made no difference. This time, the stunned, horrified expressions on their faces were identical. Aiden's body swayed, and he coughed up a thick spray of dark blood. He had told them, he rasped, that he was dying. That blade or no blade, the result was the same. He gave them a final, brilliant smile, not of appeasement, but of genuine, liberating relief. As his body fell, the ground began to tremble. The trees around them screamed and twisted. A fissure cracked open in the earth directly beneath him. Damien reacted first, scooping Aiden up and leaping away. He yelled that the Forest Lord's domain was activating. A moment later, a sharpened branch impaled his shoulder. He grunted in pain, lashing out with his whip while trying to protect Aiden. The three of them were thrown into a desperate fight for survival as the fissure widened, spewing forth a torrent of grasping tendrils. One shot out and wrapped around Aiden. Damien watched, his voice laced with a terror Aiden had never heard before, as Aiden was pulled toward the chasm. Caleb launched himself forward, shooting several tendrils and grabbing hold of Aiden's suspended body. He begged him not to let go, his voice cracking, tears streaming down his face. He was sorry. He just wanted to hold on to him this one time. Aiden looked at him, his gaze calm and empty of attachment. One by one, he pried Caleb's fingers from his arm. Caleb's pleas turned to desperate sobs. Aiden's voice was a soft whisper. He would never fight with Leo again. So please let him go. As the last finger slipped, he fell. The fissure sealed shut above him, swallowing the sounds of a young man's broken wails. He was back in Silas's domain. His internal organs felt like they were liquefying, and he couldn't stop spitting up blood. Silas fed him a strange, sweet fruit that numbed the pain. He lay in a hammock woven from living vines. As Silas gently swayed his branches, the hammock rocked with him. Aiden weakly asked Silas why a tree bloomed with morning glory flowers. Silas seemed to search his memory. He explained that a long, long time ago, a dying morning glory vine had crawled to his roots. It was weak, but it fought to climb him, desperate to live. He had liked its flowers, so he accepted its presence, absorbed it, and made it part of himself. Aiden smiled faintly. It sounded more like he had stolen the vine's life. Silas seemed to ponder this, then raised a tendril, causing a new purple flower to bloom at its tip. He insisted that the vine had given itself willingly. He tucked the flower behind Aiden's ear, his voice a low murmur. Only those who are willing can become one with him. He knew that while Aiden was with him now, he didn't truly belong to him yet. But that was okay. It was enough for his wife to be happy. Aiden's eyes stung. He turned his head to hide it, apologizing. He confessed that he had nowhere else to go, because besides Silas, no one had ever liked him. Not even his own mother, who resented his very existence, a reminder of the French lover who abandoned her when she became pregnant. He closed his eyes, the memory of how he'd entered the game, a desperate escape surfacing briefly. Silas told him not to be sad. He lifted Aiden and carried him to several small puddles on the surface. He told Aiden to look, that someone did like him. The puddles reflected scenes from the camp above. Caleb and Julian were in a bloody brawl. Leo was tied up in a corner, looking pale. Julian sneered as he landed a punch, blaming Caleb for being a useless fool who couldn't even hold on to one person. Caleb retaliated, shouting that if Julian hadn't wrongly accused him, Aiden wouldn't have lost all hope and let go. He accused Julian of hypocrisy, reminding him that they had all agreed to isolate Aiden, and Caleb had been the cruelest of all. Caleb screamed back, his eyes red-rimmed, that he had been cruel on purpose, favoring Leo to make Aiden jealous, to make him regret. He'd done it because Aiden had bewitched them all after getting Sean killed, yet chose none of them. But he never, ever wanted him to die. The fight escalated until they drew their weapons. Damien finally intervened, lashing out with his whip. Julian wiped blood from his mouth and turned his scorn on Damien, mocking his stoic act. He lunged, ripping a locket from around Damien's neck. Inside was a tiny photo of Aiden. Julian called him a pathetic clown, pointing out that at least they had the courage to admit their feelings. Caleb scrambled to his feet. He declared that it was every man for himself now. Whoever found Aiden first could claim him. He loaded his gun with a grim finality, vowing to clear this errant instance by brute force and bring Aiden out alive, even if he only had a single breath left in his body. The visions made Aiden feel sick. He started gasping for air, and Silas quickly carried him back to the vine hammock, wrapping him in a protective cocoon. Silas whispered that he hated them for wanting to take Aiden away. He wanted to kill them, but he was afraid it would make Aiden angry. Aiden told him softly to do as he wished. Knowing the truth of their feelings felt more suffocating and grotesque than their hatred ever had. He slept fitfully, plagued by nightmares. His mother, screaming as she choked him. The team's looks of disgust. The endless moments of being abandoned. Silas gently wiped his tears, murmuring that he was beautiful even when he cried. Aiden didn't have much time left, but Silas tried his best to make him happy. He caught a small rabbit for him, though he shied away from the fire while trying to cook it. He offered him spring water, and when Aiden refused, he simply poured it on his own roots. He summoned a gentle deer for Aiden to pet. At night, he would part the canopy and the clouds, revealing the entire, breathtaking expanse of the starry sky. Aiden told him he didn't have to do all this. It seemed like such a waste to show these things to someone who was about to die. But Silas was enthusiastic, insisting it was worth it if it made his wife happy. Aiden felt the sting of tears again. He was only just now learning that love wasn't just a thing that drove people to madness. For some, it was a quiet, selfless devotion that asked for nothing in return. He was glad he had found it, even if it was too late. When the four of them found him, he was wearing a crown of flowers, dozing on a swing made of morning glory vines. They looked battered and worn, their clothes torn. Caleb approached, his voice trembling. He was so glad Aiden was still alive. Aiden closed his eyes, his voice sharp with revulsion. He told him not to come closer. He didn't want to see any of them. They disgusted him. Caleb froze, his face contorted in pain. Julian shoved Leo forward. He announced they had brought the little liar for Aiden to punish. Leo knelt, sobbing out apologies. It only made Aiden feel worse. Julian looked at him with weary eyes, promising he would never treat him that way again. He vowed to spend the rest of his life making up for his mistakes and begged Aiden to come back to him. Caleb exploded, cursing at Julian, declaring that he was the one who would spend his life atoning, not him. The two devolved into a screaming match. An angry vein throbbed in Damien's temple. He muttered that they were idiots. This set them off against him, accusing him of being the most pathetic of them all, hiding his feelings while their old leader had at least died for Aiden. The shouting made Aiden's head spin. He nearly vomited blood again. Finally, he screamed for all of them to get out. That was all the permission Silas needed. He attacked. The three men dodged with practiced agility. Damien, his face a cold mask, bit his own finger and smeared the blood on the handle of his whip. He snarled that a mere beast had no right to covet him. His secondary skill infused his weapon with a corrosive energy that negated a boss's regeneration. He ordered the others to take out the monster. The Heartwood bud had to be at its roots. They fought with a suicidal ferocity, as if Silas was their mortal enemy. The battle raged, but Aiden was fading fast. A web of black lines spread across his skin. Caleb saw it and yelled that they were out of time. They changed tactics. Caleb and Julian drew Silas's attention, while Damien used a precise opening to lash out and snag Aiden, pulling him into an embrace. The cold muzzle of a gun pressed against Aiden's neck. Stop. The whirlwind of leaves and petals ceased. Silas froze, his tendrils poised to strike. A low, furious hiss emanated from him, black mist coiling around his form. He warned them not to touch him. Julian sneered. It was a shame the beast actually liked Aiden because he belonged to them. His spinning blades sliced through Silas's branches. Caleb followed up, his gun firing incendiary rounds that exploded against the ancient wood. Silas shrieked in agony. Damien's electrolash cracked like thunder, splitting the main trunk. The giant tree crashed to the ground. They immediately began digging at the roots. Soon, they uncovered the body of a young man, his skin like jade, his features handsome and serene. A morning glory grew from his empty left eye socket. They cut open his chest and carefully extracted the glowing bud from where his heart should have been. The entire forest screamed. The boy's remaining eye snapped open, and his hand shot out, closing around Julian's throat. Damien shouted that it had gone berserk and they needed to run. They scrambled for the surface, Caleb carrying Aiden on his back. As they ascended, Aiden saw Silas clawing his way out of the earth, crawling madly after them. His one eye fixed on Aiden with a desperate, obsessive love. They kicked him back down, shot at him, but he kept climbing, relentless. Caleb fired several rounds directly into his head, and he finally fell back into the chasm with a final agonized roar. The system announced the final phase. The Gloomwood was sealing itself, and its curse would consume any player who did not escape in 15 minutes. The forest erupted. The ground split, trees twisted to block their path, and spectral hands clawed up from the soil. From his position on Caleb's back, Aiden could think only of Silas's last look. With a sudden, impossible burst of strength, he shoved himself away and fell to the ground. He started running back the way they came. Caleb caught up to him first, grabbing his shoulders, his face a mess of tears and anguish. He asked why, if Aiden still hated him for the hurt he caused. But then he screamed, asking if Aiden thought he was completely blameless. He had everyone's affection but chose no one, loved no one, content to just be a friendly teammate forever. How could he be so dismissive of his love? Aiden just looked at him, genuinely confused. He told Caleb he was mistaken. He had never seen any love from him. Caleb stared, speechless, as a vine snaked out and ensnared his arm. Aiden turned and left him. Julian was next. He called Aiden insane for going back, telling him he would die. The ground beneath him began to crumble, and he could only shout after him, his voice cracking. If a monster with no human form was acceptable, then why wasn't he? If he was doomed to never have him, couldn't Aiden at least choose no one else? His pleas turned to sobs. Aiden didn't slow down. Finally, Damien blocked his path. He said nothing, just grabbed Aiden's hand and said, "Come with me." Aiden looked up at him, his eyes like ice. He asked if Damien thought he was any different from the others. His indifference, his silent complicity, it was all the same. It all made him sick. A flicker of pain crossed Damien's face. He tried to explain that hurting him was never his intention. He just couldn't accept that he had fallen in love with him. He stared deep into Aiden's eyes. For a moment, his pupils unfocused. Command echoed in his mind. "Damien, step aside." His eyes widened in shock as his feet began to move against his will. Aiden smiled. That, he told him, was charm. His real skill. He had never once used it on any of them, because they were not worthy. With that, he turned and walked back into the heart of the mist. Silas was still there, his body mangled, half his face burned away, a gaping hole in his chest. But when he saw Aiden, his remaining eye lit up with pure, unadulterated joy. Aiden returned his gaze with a soft, gentle expression. "I told you," he whispered as he leaped from the ledge, "I would die with you." The system's countdown began. 10, 9, 8. This time, it wasn't because he had nowhere else to go. 5. It was because he wanted to stay. 2. Your bride has come home, Silas. He died in his embrace. A final notification tone echoed. A hidden ending had been triggered. If you are destined to never leave this forest, when death arrives, will you choose to lose your freedom and become a part of it? Player Aiden. Symbiotic contract signed. Congratulations on achieving the ending. Rebirth in death, the ever-blooming morning glory. The Gloomwood instance was updated with a new legend. Beneath the great tree in the chasm, there is now a boy on a swing. He wears a crown of flowers, and his face is as beautiful as a god's. But do not approach him, for if you are entranced by the lovely morning glory, the dangerous demon of the woods will drag you down into the earth and devour you whole.